Hello and welcome back. This is MC1 Gamer with my second installment of Convert This. So, some of you may have viewed my previous video for Convert This. That one was my attempt to make a Warsphinx in more of a Vampire Counts theme with some of the werewolf models that I've been converting for that army. But I want to use it with my Undead Legions army with the combined list, but I don't want to use the Warsphinx that comes with the Tomb Kings. I've decided to take the advice of one of the viewers and use the Mortarch's Abyssal Terror mount. And I'm going to put it not flying, I'm going to put him on all fours. And I'm going to have some kind of a skeletal wolf head. And I'm going to use the back part, which is what I had intended previous to that. I just didn't know what I was going to mount it on. I'm going to take the corpse cart, kind of that bony, spiky part that the corpse master and all those zombies sit in. That's going to sit on top of that. So I'll show that the next time. But this time, I am going to convert NAGASH. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, you're nuts. This is a $100+ model. It looks great already. Why would you convert this and change it? Well, there's a reason for that. First of all, I'm just a little bit insane. The second reason is that I just want to have every model on the battlefield, or as much as possible, be unique. This particular army especially. And as much as I love the look of this model, it is gorgeous. I think his head is a little bit too small. Crushing your head, crushing your head. I'm not sure. There's a few things I don't like. Those spikes that are coming out the back I might keep, but I might do something different with. There's a lot of things that I think I can improve, and I've come up with some ideas based mainly on an idea that was sent to me from Mike at Outside the Box Games in Voorhees, New Jersey, and he had sent me a picture of this unbelievably epic conversion of NAGASH that came out before End Times. This is a beautiful model, and I'm using this as the inspiration for what I'm going to convert. So, I'm going to convert this, and what am I going to do? You can see that he's used a number of different things, and I'm going to emulate it. Sorry for the light there. I'm going to use the top portion of the Warsphinx, or the Necrosphinx rather, for the torso. I'm going to use most of the bottom parts from the actual model, and I'm going to use a lot of the spirit hosts that come in with the model. But I want to have more of a skeletal head that's proportionate to the body. So I'm going to put my own take on it. So here's the sprues. They haven't been clipped yet, and I've got tons of bits that I've collected for this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first of all use the base. I'm going to convert up on, this is like the Terror Guy's size base. I'm going to use this as the basis for the base. And I'm going to cut it out a little bit. This actually comes from the Arcane Ruins. And I'll cut it out to fit properly, and I'm going to have off on the sides, I actually saw a couple of pictures of some other people that have converted this up. I'm going to have skeletons and zombies coming out. I mean, this is more of a rock surface. And I'm going to have the actual piece centered right around this giant skull. Okay? So the imagery that I have is that this is when NAGASH first was risen from the grave. So there's that. And for the actual bottom part, he doesn't seem to have lots of legs there. It just seems to be all robe. So I'm going to do something that's going to be very similar to what we see in the original NAGASH model, but I'm going to probably take out the legs. I might not use that belt. I'm probably just going to use this part of the belt, and then this spiny piece, I'm going to do something else with it. But I don't know if I want to use what is kind of like just very thin, and I don't like the ridges on the armor, the way that looks personally. So I'm going to use the pieces from the Necrosphinx, and I'm going to cut this off. So I'm going to have, I don't really like that big back part that you see here. This big this big kind of bulbous part. I just want to have I'll use a pointer here, one of the spirit hosts. I like this part in the back. I just don't like the actual bulbous part behind it. So I'm going to cut that off, but that leaves a big exposed area in the back. So I got to replace that with something. So I've been thinking about a couple of different things. I might use the spiky part in the back that mounts this and still use those spikes. But I've been thinking, and I have a couple of different pieces that I'm thinking of using. Thinking of filling it in. This is actually a piece from one of the Tyranids sets, and it actually has these holes that I can mount those bony protrusions. So I might convert this up, and it has a nice bony area. I can use it as bone and flesh that would fill in the gaps when I cut this part off. So the biggest thing I liked is that a different type of a head. I'm going to need to make a crown. I'm going to be obviously using lots of spirit hosts to surround the model in general. A couple of other changes I'm making. You can see that he has one of his shoulder pads being a skeletal one, and one is the armor. And I don't want to do that armor. It's cool, it's nice, it's just not the style I want to work with. So I'm going to actually double up so he has two bony shoulder pads. So I got an extra piece of shoulder pads. Then I have this extra set. And I have something very interesting that I want to do with it. You see, I have a lot of extra spirit hosts on top of what comes in the actual main sprues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the option not to have him hold his staff. I'm going to have the spirit hosts, maybe one of these over here, I'll change it up. They're going to be holding his staff. I'm going to have him hold his sword. Now in the kit, the sword is on this arm. So I'm going to change it up to be used with this arm protrusion. And he's going to be holding his sword on this side, looking into the book, and either on this side or this side, his spirit hosts are going to be holding his staff. And then I'm going to have another set of spirit hosts that are going to be holding a conversion of his Pope hat. Now that's a nice big Pope hat, but it's kind of thin for what I'm doing. It's not really going to fit this skeletal head too well. I'm sorry for the blurriness there. So I'm going to use these shoulder pads to make a different Pope hat that wouldn't probably fit this really well, but it's going to be also held aloft by some of these spirit hosts in the back, maybe on this side, or maybe I'll switch it up. Maybe the staff will be on this side to counterbalance the height of the sword, and the Pope hat will be on this side. And I'll probably cut it maybe right around there and stick it on top of this piece that will be merged. It will look like those shoulder pads, but I'm going to make it as part of the helmet. So those are the pieces that I'm starting with. I don't know if I'm going to use these arms or his regular arms. I think I might just stick with his regular arms, because even though they're kind of spindly and thin, they still work fairly well and they fit well to the model. And the idea is rather than have his legs come out, I'm going to double up on the robes that kind of meld into the ethereal nature of the model, the ethereal spirit hosts. So I've got extras of those. I've got extras of a lot of different bits and pieces that I'm going to use, and we'll see how it comes out. So it should be a pretty, it's already an epic model, and I've already had plenty of friends tell me that I'm insane. I'm actually insane for trying to convert up what is also already a very expensive model into something different, but I just can't help myself. And I'm going to be running a regular Convert This series. This is the second in the series, and I'll show results, not just of what I do new, but also stuff that I've done previously. And we'll see if I can bring to justice this absolutely gorgeous model, but with my own take on it. And I hope you like it. And if you like this series or any of the other battle reports or campaign scenarios that I do, please feel to like. I always welcome comments, of course, constructive ones. Please be kind. And, well, you don't have to be kind, but please be polite. And, of course, subscribe if you want to keep track of all my latest videos. Thank you so much, and have a great day.